We are soon going to start our live class. Very good afternoon. We are waiting for your colleague to join. Ask your colleague that our class has been started. So to join as much as possible, as many as possible students. Good afternoon to all of you. We are soon going to talk about mosquito control measures. We are waiting for other students to join. Ask your colleague in your group that our class has been started. So to join right now. Okay, good afternoon. We are waiting for other students to join. Is my voice clear and audible to all of you? Write down in chat box. Is my voice clear and audible to all of you? Ask your colleague to join the class. Is my voice clear and audible? Okay. Ask your colleague. Put a WhatsApp message in your chat box also, in your WhatsApp group also, that our class has been started. Let me also put the WhatsApp message in that group. Okay, so you will be all very well here in Jamnagar. We are also well. Currently, wind is blowing hard, and you may be hearing some roaring sound frequently of the wind. So, in your previous class, that was on Mosquito 1, you may have learned about different habits of mosquito. Okay, so I will start with one basic question. What are the types of mosquito that you know? What are the types of mosquito that you know? Very basic question I am going to ask you. Starting with very basic question. What are the types of mosquito that you know, that you have learned? Types of mosquito that you have learned. Write down in chat box. What are the types of mosquito that you know? Ask your colleague to join. We have started our class. Write down in chat box. What are the types of mosquito? Yes, Irene is replying. Aedes. Again, Irene. Anopheles. Right, correct spelling. Not Anopheles. This Anopheles. Yes, Ayushi. Urbic. Aedes aegypti. Very nice. Ulex. Arjun is replying. Okay, fine. So in Tejas is also replying. In previous class, you may have also studied about life cycle of the mosquito. What are the stages in life cycle of the mosquito? Because control measures are directed towards different stages of the life cycle of the mosquito. So write down the names of various stages of life cycle of mosquito. Write down names of various stages of mosquito. Life cycle of mosquito, because mosquito control measures are directed towards various stages of the life cycle. So now more and more students are entering the class. Ask your colleague who are still remaining. It will be interesting to have the live chat. So to join the live class, it will be, take it as a fun. It will be like your social media fun. So I'm getting reply from Ridesh. Egg, larva, Cuba. Egg, larva, pupa. It is not Cuba. You are pronouncing the some name of some country, Cuba. An adult. Eggs, larva, pupa, and adult. Okay. So do you know how much time does it take to complete the life cycle of a mosquito? Because here in mosquito control measures, that time is also important. Not pupa, Ridesh, it is pupa. How much time does it take for one mosquito to complete its life cycle from egg to adult? Because that time is also important in mosquito control measures. So write down in chat box. Seven days, Tejas. It is right, yes. And tell me about some habits of the mosquito. And see, 8 to 10 days, 7 days, 8 to 10 days, both are right. Maximum it will take 10 days, 7 to 10 days, yes, Tejas. So what do you know about different habits of the mosquito? Different habits of mosquito. About egg, about adult habit. You must have watched that previous video on mosquito 1, or you may have read also. Good afternoon to all of those who have entered in just last few minutes. Ask your colleague to join also. What do you know about habits of mosquito? About their eggs, about their larva, about their pupa? That is a broad question. What about their characteristics? Whatever you know about habit of mosquito, write down in chat box. Write down in chat box what are the habits of mosquito. Yes, good afternoon to all of you, but write down the habits of mosquito. I'm waiting for that reply. Eggs mostly present in steady water. Hiren is replying. Then stagnant water. Okay. How does the pupa look like? Now direct question. How does the pupa look like? What is the shape of pupa? What is the shape of pupa? No reply. You must have to go through that previous class on mosquito 1. There, what? Yes, coma shape. I am getting reply from Tejas, Didesh, coma shape or shape of 7. Gujarati 7. Coma shape. Both are right. Okay. What about the resting habits of adult mosquito? Where do you find this adult mosquito commonly? Where do you find adult mosquito commonly? Write down the adult. Where do you find adult mosquito commonly? That is last question. Then we are going to start with the control measures. Moist environment. Is that so, Hiren? Moist environment. Whenever you are reading in library, whenever you are there in home, where do you find this mosquito commonly? What are the places? At contaminated sites, moist places. Is that so? I'm talking about adult mosquito. Dumping place. Remember, whenever you are reading in the library, where do you find this mosquito? Where do you commonly find the bites of mosquito? On which part of your body? So depending upon that, you can say that where do you find this adult mosquito commonly? Dirty water collection, that is the egg laying area. There, that is the breeding place of the mosquito. Yes, corner, somewhat right, corners. So you get the bites over the leg. So over the dark places, you find commonly mosquito. They are the resting places over dark places. And depending upon the species, resting places are also different. Breeding places are also somewhat different. So this was based on your previous class. Now we are more interested in control measures. So we are going to start with these control measures. First of all, you have already answered about different species of the mosquito. We are going to see the methods of vector control. Let me select the pointer first. And whatever we are talking, so that is important in your journal writing also. So from this presentation, you can write down in your journals also. It will be there in YouTube. Previous lecture is also there. So basically, methods of vector control are three types: anti-larval measures, anti-adult measures, and protection against mosquito bite. So there is, you can find that there are no measures like anti-egg measures or anti-pupa measures, but one of the thing that reduction of source reduction, it can be considered as the avoidance of the breeding place. So after that, anti-larval, anti-adult, and personal protection against mosquito bite, that we are going to see. So you have correctly answered about different species of the mosquito that you can see in this photograph: Aedes, Culex, Anopheles, and Mansonites. These are the vectors. So because of these vectors, there can be different disease. Now tell me about the disease spread by Culex mosquito. Write down in chat box about the disease which are spread by Culex mosquito. Write down in chat box. So we are going to talk about why the need arise, why there is need of this mosquito control measures. So we have to start with the disease because it spreads some diseases. Yes, Tejas is replying filariasis. Then which are other disease? Japanese encephalitis, Arjun, Rajiguru. Then which are other disease? Filariasis, Japanese encephalitis. Aditya is saying elephantitis, Urvik. Yes. So you can see in this photograph that filariasis, Bancrofian filariasis, you can see here elephantitis. Because of the filariasis, there is elephantitis because there is blockage of the lymphatic channels, and it will lead to accumulation of this lymph into the lower limb. So it will lead to the limbs like elephant. So it is elephantitis. Then you can see viral arthritis, then Japanese encephalitis, West Nile fever, Japanese encephalitis. Can you see that both this West Nile fever and Japanese encephalitis, are they present in India? Are they present in India? West Nile fever and Japanese encephalitis, are they present in India? Write down in chat box. Then I will be watching your reply later on. We are going to talk about other diseases also. So Anopheles, as you know, commonly Anopheles spread malaria. So because of the Anopheles, there is malaria. This is the picture of slide peripheral smear examination in case of the malaria. So that is the investigation which is being done in case of any fever patient. There is a norm that in our NVBDCP program, any person who is complaining of the fever, they may be having the symptoms like malaria, like with chills and intermittent fever, they may be tested for the peripheral smear. And according to NVBDCP, out of your 100 patient, 15 patient must be tested for malaria. That is 15% of your OPD that must be tested for malaria. After passing your MBBS, whenever you are working in PHC as a medical officer for short duration of time, even if it is, so you will be you will have to go for this examination, peripheral smear, PSMP. Any patient who is suffering from fever with chills, so you have to write down PS for MP, and that slide will look like this. So in this PS for MP, that malaria parasite that can be detected. There are two diseases like dengue, then filaria again, mainly dengue, then chikungunya, yellow fever. Again, second question, is yellow fever is West Nile fever and this Japanese encephalitis? I am getting reply no. In case of the yellow fever, you are right. I am getting reply that it is not present in India. It is not even present in Asia. Yellow fever is prevalent in African countries. So whenever we go to the traveling of this African country, for visit of this African country, we have to take the vaccine of yellow fever, which is given in Jamnagar also, Jamnagar our civil hospital, GGH. But this West Nile fever and Japanese encephalitis, it is present in India. Don't go according to the name. Japanese encephalitis, so Japan is there. So you must be saying that it is not present in India. It is not like so. West Nile. West Nile is name of river. Nile is the name of the river. So, but it is present in India. So now we are moving further. We are talking about the disease like Aedes. This is spread by Aedes, dengue, yellow fever, then this Rift Valley fever, filaria, chikungunya fever. They are transmitted by Aedes. Then mensonoids, and they are transmitting chikungunya and Malayan filariasis. So because of this presence of the disease, because this vector spread such type of the disease, particularly this malaria, chikungunya, dengue, these are very common. Nowadays, after this monsoon season, in monsoon and post-monsoon season, there will be rise of the dengue and malaria as well as chikungunya cases because of the increasing breeding of the mosquito. And so we need to control this vector. We need to control mosquito. And as you know, do you know which is anti-malarial month? Which is anti-malarial month? Which is anti-malarial month? That is the month in which anti-malarial activities against this mosquito, or I meant to say vector control, are being carried out. What is the name of the month? Write down in chat box which is anti-malarial month. I will see your answer later on. We are discussing further methods of vector control. So as we know, basically there are three types of the vector control method: anti-larval method, anti-adult method, and protection against mosquito bite. So in anti-larval method, it includes environmental sanitation, chemical methods, biological methods. Anti-adult method include use of residual spray, space spray, genetic control, and third is personal protection against mosquito bites. It includes use of mosquito nets, screens, and repellent. Let me check the answer. I have asked that which is anti-malarial month. Yes, so many students are replying June month. June month is anti-malarial month. Pritish, Yasvi, Meet, Urvik, Munish, Hiren. No, Hiren has replied for previous question, in fact. Okay, so anti-malarial month is June, and that is starting for 3 or 4 days later on. And in this June month, anti-malarial activities are being carried out. I have the second part of this presentation in which I'm going to show you the photographs of the anti-malarial month activity, which we have practically witnessed. And some of this we have had the hands-on on this anti-malarial month activity. These are very interesting photographs that after this presentation, second is on that. That is also part of this mosquito control measure. So we are going to discuss these measures, anti-larval, anti-adult, and personal protection one by one. So first of all, anti-larval measures. This is the photograph of larva. You can see the larva. Can you see? Can you identify which larva is this? Which larva is this? Depending upon its characteristics, identify and write down in chat box. So you can see that so many larvae are there here. Identify this larva depending upon its characteristics and write down in chat box. So first is environmental measure. Environmental measures for different. Before this environmental measures, we should have the knowledge of different breeding places of different types of the mosquito. So you can see that Anopheles, it breeds in not fresh water, but it is clean water sources. In the clean water, Anopheles mosquito breed. Then this Culex, it breeds on the domestic and peri-domestic collection of the water, like tanks. Domestic, we are going to see with the help of the photographs also. Culex in domestic and peri-domestic sources, and Aedes in artificial collection of the water. So artificial collection of the water, examples like coconut shells, like thrown away bottles where the water collection will be there, and Mansonia, it breeds on the aquatic plant. So these are different breeding places of the mosquito, and we need to reduce the source. We need to have the source reduction of this mosquito. So we are going to see the photographs. Anopheles in the clean water, In freshwater, mensoniotes, near this aquatic plants, you can see the photographs, aquatic plant. Then this domestic, like here tanks are there, like some small well is there, this type of the plastic tank is there. So these are the sources of the Culex mosquito. Aedes mosquito, artificial collection of the water. So coconut cells, where there will be collection of the water in these coconut cells, and there Aedes mosquito breed. Here this collection of the water in construction site, these buckets, then tires, then these tanks. So these are the collection breeding places of the Aedes mosquito. So for this, having the knowledge of these breeding places, so we have to remove these breeding places. We don't have to collect. We don't have to allow the collection of the water like in this such of the breeding places for Aedes, for Anopheles, for this Culex also. So coconut cells should not be thrown away like this. Tires, so there should not be. We should not allow the water to collect in the tire. So do not put this tire into the open place where there can be collection of the water, rainwater. So by avoiding this collection of the water, we can have the source reduction, that is environmental sanitation, and this is the most effective measure for mosquito control measure. What happens that if we don't allow the collection of the water, there won't be any breeding places, there won't be any breeding, eggs will not develop, and ultimately there will be no mosquito. So this is the most effective method for control of the mosquito. Then chemical control. Chemical control include larvicidal. Commonly used larvicidal are mineral oil, Paris green, and synthetic insecticides. So three types of the larvicidals are there: mineral oil, Paris green, and synthetic insecticides. So mineral oil, that application of the oil to the water, that is the oldest method for mosquito control measure. Oldest method, application of the oil. So in place of the mineral oil, practically whatever PHC are doing there, MPW are using burnt diesel oil, burnt oil which is used into the industry or into the vehicles. So what is mechanism of action of this oil? That whenever we apply the oil, as you know from the law of the physics, that oil spread over to the water. Oil spread make a layer over the water. So that they cut off the oxygen supply. Oxygen supply is cut off, and so that oxygen will not be available for the larva for breathing, for their development. So it will cut off the oxygen supply for the larva, and larva and pupa will die. So there will be having the specific toxic action. This oil will be having the specific toxic action on the larva and pupa. Application is once a week. All these control measures, whether it is oil, Paris green, in case of the anti-adult measure also, they have to be applied once a week, because as you know that mosquito life cycle takes about 7 to 10 days to complete. And amount of this oil is 40 to 90 liters per hectare. So that is mineral oil and its mechanism of action. Disadvantage, that oil become unfit for the this water become unfit for the drinking, because we have applied oil into the water. So it will not be, so this oil is to be applied into the water bodies which are not to be used for drinking purpose. Then it will kill the fish, kill the aquatic animals which are present into the this collection of the water. And commonly used oils are diesel oil, fuel oil, kerosene oil, and specific MLO, that is mosquito larvicidal oil. So this is about oil. Then Paris green, it is also called as copper acetoarsenate. It is insoluble emerald of the green microcrystalline powder. Mechanism of action, remember one word in case of the Paris green. In mechanism of action, it is stomach poison. So it as the word suggests, it must be ingested by the larva. So larva can only ingest, after that only larva can be killed. So whatever the larva which are there on the surface feeder, that can be killed by the Paris green. So over the surface, as you know that Anopheles larvae are present, but there are some larvae which are over the bottom feeders. So for that bottom feeders, Paris green is to be special preparation of the Paris green are available, that is in granular formulation, which can go into the bottom also, and this bottom feeder can be also killed. So application of this Paris green is as a 2% dust, means 2 kg of the Paris green plus 98 kg of the diluent, it becomes 2%. It becomes 2% dust, and it can be applied with the hand or rotary blower. amount 1 kg of the Paris green per hectare of the water is to be applied. In dosage, it is there is an advantage that it cannot be harmful to the fish or domestic animal or to the man. So as compared to the mineral oil, when the oil is applied to the water, it kills the fish. It is not available for the drinking purpose. It is not useful for the drinking purpose. Here it can be it is not harmful to the fish but as well as to animal and man. Then synthetic insecticides, these are organophosphorus compounds. It includes abate, malathion, phenytoin and chlorpyrifos. So among them, abate is most commonly used because it is less toxic. It is least toxic. Abate is least toxic, and another name of abate is tamifos. It is commonly used. It is commonly used in our PHC area as well as in our urban area also. So organochlorine compound, other organochlorine include DDT and HCH. Write down the full form of DDT. Write down the full form of DDT in chat box. DDT in chat box. What is the full form of DDT? Write down in chat box. DDT and HCH both. Write down the full form of DDT and HCH in chat box. What is full form of DDT? Write down in chat box. This DDT is actually not recommended nowadays because of the mainly due to resistance. Since a decade or more, it has developed resistance. So mosquito has developed resistance against DDT. So mosquito cannot be killed by this, whether it is adult mosquito or this larva, it cannot be killed by this DDT. So it is not recommended, but theoretically we should know about this. So I'm getting reply from students: diphenyl chloride. No, it is diphenyl trichloroethane. Yes, diphenyl trichloroethane. Yes, very good. Okay, so what is full form of HCH? HCH. So it is not recommended because of the resistance as well as long residual effect. Water contamination, it can contaminate water. There is increased risk of resistance development. What I have taught already. What is HCH? Write down in chat box what is HCH. Then there is another compound, that is BTI. It is commonly used. Remember the full form of the BTI. It is Bacillus thuringiensis israelis. It is Bacillus thuringiensis israelis, BTI. We don't commonly use this VR, Bacillus thuringiensis israelis. So it is naturally produced bacterial toxin, and it is also being used commonly. I'm waiting for the reply of HCH. What is full form of HCH? Yes, some students have hexachlorocyclohexane. Yes, very nice. Okay. So BTI is useful. Then biological control, it includes application of the fish, that is Gambusia fish, as well as in Gujarat we are using Guppy fish. I'm going to show in later second presentation about the photographs of the Guppy fish. Then lobster and this Barbados. So Gambusia, Guppy, lobster, these are commonly used fishes. So that was about anti-larval measures. Now anti-adult measures. So measures against this adult mosquito. So anti-adult measure include, as you know, residual spray, use of space spray, and genetic control. So residuals for commonly used compound for residual spray include DDT, linden, malathion, OMS33. Again, I have talked about DDT that because of the development of the resistance in residual spray, it is not commonly used. Just theoretically, you should know about that. In residual spray, in indoor residual spray, one compound is commonly used, that is alpha cypermethrin. Remember the name well, alpha cypermethrin. So insecticide of the choice, no longer it is DDT, it is alpha cypermethrin, and because of the development of the resistance. So these are various preparation which are available for residual spray. You can see the different types of the bottle. You may have heard this name, RAID, RAID. Then different type of the bottles are available. This is the photograph. These three photographs are of indoor residual spray, IRS. So the name itself suggests residual spray means it will be having the residual effect. it will be having effect depending upon the compound for some weeks to some months. Say for example, for 6 months, it can be having the residual effect for 6 months. Once it is applied over the wall, after that, if any adult mosquito come into the contact with this wall, it will be killed. So it will have, it is called residual spray. Then another method is space spray. So remember the difference well between these words. One is residual spray, and again indoor residual spray. It is IRS. Indoor means it is to be sprayed inside the house only, inside the premises only. Whereas this is space spray, means it is to be spread into the space. So the different compounds are available for space spray. That is pyrethrum. Most commonly used is pyrethrum extract. So active principle in this space spray is pyrethrin. So pyrethrum and active principle is pyrethrin. You may have seen some sprays, some machine which are being spraying into the outdoor. You may have seen in over the roads also. So in the roads, that machine is spraying fogs, different fogs. It is to be used in the form of the mist or fog. So that is space spray, and into this mist or fog, it contains pyrethrin. For generation of the fog, it is using kerosene or diesel. So it is diesel oil or kerosene oil which is using the space spray. So the pyrethrum is no poison. Remember that Paris green is the stomach poison. Here this pyrethrum extract is the no poison, and amount of this is 0.1% pyrethrin per 100 per 1000 cubic feet. It is to be also applied into the, and if we apply into the space into the house, so before that we have to close the doors and window for half an hour after spraying. Malathion and phenanthrone. So this is the photograph of the space spray. Such type of the fogging machine you have seen. It is extensively used, ultra low volume, malathion and phenanthrone. And limitation of this space spray, reduction in number of the mosquito is only temporary. So as compared to the indoor residual spray, in that indoor residual spray there is residual effect, but here there is no residual effect. Only till the fogging is there, at that time whatever the adult mosquito are present, they can be only killed. So for example, we can say that effect is lasting for about some hours, say for 2-3 hours only. So after that, once the fog has gone, there will not be any residual effect and it will not be working. So whatever new mosquitoes are entering after this fogging has been done or effect has gone, so new mosquito cannot be affected. So reinfestation occurs within short while. Genetic control, since many decades, they are still in research. Since 2 decades, since we were UG, it is the word we are also hearing this research phase. So you need to remember the technique of some of the technique, like sterile male technique. Means if we make the male mosquito sterile, then there will not be any breeding of this mosquito. So sterile male technique, cytoplasmic incompatibility, chromosomal translocation, sex distortion, and gene replacement. These are some methods which are being explored. They are still in research phase. So remember the names of the method only. Advantage of this genetic control, they are cheaper and potentially more efficient and not subject to vector resistance. So that was about anti-adult measures. Now personal protection against the mosquito bites. So in that measures that we are using the some methods, personal protective methods against mosquito bite. So write down the names of that method. What you are using to protect yourself from the mosquito bites. What you are using to protect yourself from the mosquito bite, write down that. Whenever you are reading in library, we are reading in room, hostels, at your place. So what are the methods which you are using to protect yourself from the mosquito bites? Write down the names of that method in chat box. Nowadays, PPE, personal protective equipment, PPE is the talk of the town since 2-3 months because of this COVID disease. But using personal protection against mosquito bites, it is since many years. So you may be using many methods. Write down the methods. What do you use? Which methods do you use to protect yourself from the mosquito bites? Which methods do you use to protect yourself? Yes, application of mosquito repellent, full cover of the body, flashcards, cleanliness, mosquito racket, odomos. Okay, very nice. Repellents, mosquito nets. Yes, machardani. Very nice. So all of you are correct, are very correct. So these are the methods: mosquito nets, screens, and repellent, which you have correctly replied. So mosquito nets, it offer protection during the sleep, and type of the material is white in color. You can see in the photograph the white color is there because if we can easily recognize if any mosquito is resting over that. And there is one facility for this net, that insecticide treated net. So in PHC there is one chemical, delta methrin. For insecticide treated net, the chemical used is delta methrin. Remember this name well. So if you give your mosquito net to the PHC staff, MPW, they will pour the delta methrin material. They will pour this net into the delta methrin chemical, and this chemical is insecticidal against this adult mosquito. After this, having treated with this net, I mean to say this delta methrin material, it is not to be washed for at least 6 months. This net is not to be washed for 6 months. It can be dried only. It can be dried over where the sunlight is not there. And if any mosquito comes into the contact of this net, whenever you are using this net and mosquito comes into its contact, then mosquito will be killed. So that is delta methrin. That is powerful chemical. There is one another terminology, that is LLIN. LLIN, that is long lasting insecticide treated net. One is ITN, that is insecticide treated net. ITN, that I have already told that it is to be treated with the delta methrin. Then there is one terminology, that is LLIN, long lasting insecticide treated net. Means while manufacturing the nets, delta methrin is kept into the delta methrin solution, is treated into the manufacturing material of the net. So it will be having the long lasting effect for 5 years. So for 5 years it will give protection against the mosquito. Here you need to remember this net hole dimension, that is 0.045 square inch, and number of hole per square inch is 150. 150 holes should be there. So this can be asked in your MCQ also. Screening, like this screening, it is not screening of the corona, it is screening of the doors and window. We apply some screens over the doors and window, like this nets, aluminum net, or this net made of the iron. That is screening. They are installed into the building, and aperture of the screening 16 meshes per square inch, and gives protection against the mosquito, but it can be expensive also. Then repellent, by using such type of this kachua agarbatti or this type of the straight agarbatti, this repellent. This is the machine which use the mat, and this type of the all out repellent. So remember the name of the chemical which is present into this all out, that is transfluothrin. Transfluothrin is present in all out. So remember 3 chemicals. I have given the names of the 3 chemicals. One is alpha cypermethrin. Alpha cypermethrin, it is present in it is used as a indoor residual solution, IRS. Then second, I have told that delta methrin, it is used for insecticide treated net, ITN. And third is transfluothrin, which is used into the all out. So these are the chemicals you need to remember. Then some innovative ideas for personal protection against mosquito, as you can see in photograph. You may have seen some innovative ideas of using mask nowadays. Some innovative ideas for protection. In WhatsApp, may have seen the photograph of the variety of the mask. So here you can see that such type of the cap, hat, actually having the net which is covering the face. It is making the face shield with this net. Then clothing, such type of the clothing with the net. You can see such type of the bracelet which is releasing some insecticidal solution. So if any mosquito come into the contact of this net, I mean to say this bracelet, it may be killed. So one of the innovative method one reading newspaper of Gujarat is using, that is this frequently this reading newspaper, it claimed that it it used the printing material which is having some insecticide. So if you keep this newspaper over your house, it will be killing the mosquito whichever comes into the contact of that newspaper. So many times after this monsoon season, you will find such type of the special issue with this newspaper. Then there's electric racket, such type of the racket you are already using. Kitchen, we haven't seen the using kitchen. Candles, we haven't seen using candles for this mosquito control measures. So that is about mosquito control measure. Wait, but we are having the second presentation on anti-malarial month activity. That is also part of this mosquito control measure. I am going to show you the photographs. We will take only about 15 minutes. So I'm going to share that presentation, real photographs of the Let me first stop this sharing. In this presentation, you will see a real photograph of the anti-malarial month activity. As you know that anti-malarial month is being celebrated is in June. Full anti-malarial month it is June. So here you will find which are the activities which are being done in anti-malarial month. That is in next month. So during our PG, we have seen such activity which is being done by PHC, and I'm going to show you the photographs of that activity, anti-malarial month activity. Now I think you can see this second presentation also. So as you know that NVBTCP program, and I will be going rapidly. This presentation is already available in YouTube. Already it is available in recorded format. You can go through this theoretical part. Let me select the pointer color, ink color. Okay. So NVBTC program, as you know, and month of the June is celebrated as anti-malarial month. And this is the photograph. This is the chart. You can see that after this 30 to 31st week, in a year there are 52 weeks. As you know that in a year there are 52 weeks. So after this 30th week, there is rise in cases of the malaria, dengue, and chikungunya that you will see after this June month. That is in monsoon and post-monsoon season. So again, you can see that anti-larval measures are environmental, chemical method, biological, as you know. So you are going to see about IRS solution, IRS, Abate spraying, and application of the MLO. So in photographs, I am going to show you how this IRS is made and how it is being applied, how this Abate is sprayed, and how this MLO is, as well as application of this Larvivorous fish. So we had visited in Rajkot district in PHC Khirasra for this IRS activity. So IRS, it is being applied in the high risk area. High risk area is to be calculated by using this API, annual parasite incidence. So if API is more than equal to 2, then it is known as high risk area. In this high risk area, IRS activity is being done. So for IRS activity, it requires 4 persons. 1 person for making suspension, 1 person for handling pump, and 1 person for spraying, as well as another person for filling the information about the spraying house. You will see in the photograph. So this IRS is provided by District Malaria Office of the Jilla Panchayat as per number of the household. So this equipment for the IRS, it include insecticide in powder form. Which insecticide I have told? Write down in chat box. What is the name of the insecticide which is used for IRS, indoor residual spray activity? Write down if you remember in chat box. Then spray nozzle tip, then 2 10-liter buckets, stirrer pump, then a measuring mug for insecticide, measuring jug for water, personal protective equipment like mask, hand gloves, spectacles and cap, plastic sheet, and piece of the cloth for filtering suspension of the IRS. Write down the name of the chemical which is used for IRS, indoor residual spray, which is the chemical which is used for indoor residual spray. So has anybody written the name of that chemical? Alpha cypermethrin. Yes, alpha cypermethrin is used for IRS. So most commonly used is alpha cypermethrin. Since 2008 it is used. Previously malathion and DDT were used, but because of the resistance they are not being longer used. Only alpha cypermethrin is used. So how to make alpha cypermethrin solution? So I will show you with the help of this photograph. Into this bucket, we have to first add 250 gram of the alpha cypermethrin powder. This is 250 gram of the powder. Then first we have to add 1 liter of the water and make suspension. And when we have to make the suspension, after that add further 9 liter of the water, but by slowly, that is 1 liter each. We have to add 9 times, so it will make the suspension. So that is the measuring jug for preparation of the IRS. And you can see that one person is making the IRS suspension, another person is adding water with this measuring jug, and this IRS suspension is ready. This is ready. So now this IRS suspension, that is alpha cypermethrin suspension, is to be sprayed into the house. So for IRS activity, there is one spray technique. For this, we have to use the pump that is known as the stirrup pump. This is the pump. You can see this is the foot operated pump. That is, this pump looks like the puncture pump which is used for the cycle in old days for filling air into the tube of the cycle. It was used, such type of the pump is there. This part is barrel. This is the barrel. This barrel is to be kept into that bucket. Then this part is to be it is the foot piece which is to be supported with the foot, and this is the long tube into which the solution suspension will come, and this is nozzle. This is nozzle, and this part is like in case of our injection, it is plunger. When we pull the plunger, this part is in barrel. So when we pull the plunger, the suspension will come inside this barrel. That is like a holy pitchkari, into how we are using the holy pitchkari, like somewhat like that. So this while pulling this plunger, suspension will come inside this barrel, and when we push this plunger, the suspension will go through this plastic tube, and into the nozzle. So you can see that this man doing IRS activity into the house. So we have to keep this nozzle 18-inch away from the wall surface. 18-inch away from wall surface. And that is the documentary sheet for IRS activity. Then application of the Abate Tamifos, that is organophosphorus compound, and very effective and less toxic. So here it is to be applied weekly, and for 1 square meter 20 ml of solution is needed. How this Abate solution is made? 2.5 ml of the Abate is to be taken into 10 liter of the water. Dose is 2.5 ml of the Abate into, it is diluted into 10 liter of the water, and for 1 square meter such 20 ml of the suspension is it is required. So you can see the photo. I am going to show you the photographs of the Abate application. But before the Abate application, this MPW, multi-purpose worker, you can see that he is searching for the larva into the water body. And this Abate is applied by the ASA. You can see that Abate is applied. Abate suspension is there into this bottle, and it is applied. You can see this Abate application by ASA. Again, application by FHW into the water bodies. It is anti-larval measure. Again, you can see Abate is applied by FHW. Same photograph. So MPW are applying the Abate. And marking is being done by FHW, like in case of the pulse polio immunization activity. You have seen in polio program that house is marked after the house visit. House is marked with the team number and direction as well as the date. So here also, after this application of the Abate or this anti-adult measure IRS activity, also house marking, or if we are working in the industry area, or that also marking is being done. And that is the documentary sheet for Abate application. Here in documentary sheet, name of the household, you can see that if there is an industry, name of the industry, or if there is a home, so name of the head of the family is to be written, number of the members. Along with this Abate application as well as IRS application, FHW as well as ASA have to make the survey of the containers which is containing the larva. So how many containers they have surveyed, how many containers which is containing of the cement or this clay or plastic container, and among them how many of them have been identified as having the breeding places for the mosquito, and how many have been reduced, I mean the source reduction. How many cases of the fever are there in family, that have to be also written. Then application of the mosquito larvicidal oil and larvivorous fish, two things are remaining. So mosquito larvicidal oil, as we commonly know, that is diesel oil, fuel oil, kerosene that is being used. Crude oil also can be used. And for mosquito larvicidal oil, mechanism of action, you already know that it cut off the oxygen supply to the larva. And this type of the pump, that is knapsack pump, hand compression sprayer, is used for application of the mosquito larvicidal oil. But in the PHC area where this type of the pump is not available, very interesting method of the application of the MLO is used, that I am going to show you with the help of the photograph. That the method is very interesting. See, such type of the oil is to be applied in this large collection of the water pond, such type of the pond where it is not to be used for the drinking purpose. So into this pond, first of all, there is preparation of the MLO parcel is made. How? Into one container, oil is to be taken, mosquito larvicidal oil or diesel oil is to be taken, along with the pieces of the cloths. So this cloth pieces are to be tied with the stone which is present around this area. That is to be tied with the stone. So the workers, you can see in this photograph that the cloth pieces are being tied with the stone, and this stone containing pieces, it is known as parcel. It is to be kept into this bucket so that oil will be absorbed into the cloth. Oil will be absorbed into cloth. Now this parcel is containing oil with cloth and stone inside it. So now this parcel is to be thrown. You can see that it is to be thrown into this pond. By walking at the various surfaces of this border of this pond, MPW will throw this parcel of the MLO laden parcel, so that now what will happen, that this parcel will go inside the water, it will drop inside the water, and what happens that oil will come over the surface. As you know that according to the basic principle of the physics, oil will come over the surface. We have seen that. We have also have the hands-on over this MLO application, and after some period of the time, we have to throw this parcel all over the pond, and after some period of the time, we can see that we have seen that oil is spread all over the pond. Now application of the Larvivorous fish, Gambusia fish. This is the Gambusia fish. Guppy fish, you can see that male fish is colorful in case of the guppy and female is colorless. It is opposite to human. Male is colorful here in guppy fish. So this guppy fish, this is the hatchery for guppy fish, where guppy fish are grown. In the malaria office as well as in many PHC, hatchery is present. So hatchery is there. From this hatchery, with the help of the net, fishes are being taken. Now application of the fish into the water is also interesting. I'm going to show you the photograph of this. You can see this presentation, full presentation, which is already over there in YouTube. It has been recorded for the previous class, during the previous class. So I'm going to show you how it is being applied. So guppy fish, they are to be taken into the container, one male fish and one female fish, and some of the male fish, mixture of the male and female fish is to be taken. Then we don't have to pour this fish into the container, into this water body, because it will damage fish, it will kill the fish. So there is specific method for this application of the guppy fish. We have to first make full of this container up to the brim. We have to take the water. So this container is to be made full with the water. Then we have to lower down this container into the water body. We don't have to pour the fishes. We have to lower down this container into the water body so that fish will come out by themselves. So fish will not be damaged. So that is all about mosquito control measures as well as anti-larval month, anti-malarial month. And where I am going to give you assignment later on, that you will find in the WhatsApp group. I am going to give you today only, that you will find after some time. Okay, thank you very much. And you have to write down this anti-malarial month, some of the anti-malarial month activity, as well as from the previous presentation, anti-larval measures, anti-adult measures, then this personal protection against mosquito into your journal as a part of this practical. You will find this recorded video in YouTube also. It is already available. Thank you very much.